Hi, this is Naomi with Sword and Steel, and today we are going to be looking at the new sculpts of a bunch of different Space Marines. We have Chaplain in Terminator Armour that we're going to be looking at and seeing all of his different options. We're going to be looking at the Captain with Jump Pack, which I magnetized, so you could see what options you have for magnetization, and this magnetization of the Captain would be very much like how you would magnetize anything else in these kits. You'll be seeing the Terminator Squad, the new Terminator Squad, which is not the same as the Leviathan push fit. These are brand new sculpts with the new Pyre Cannon option within as well. It has all of the we'll see when you get into the video. We're also looking at Jump Pack Intercessors, also called Assault Intercessors with Jump Packs. If you were looking at their data sheet, we have the Company Heroes, which now the Company Heroes are a group of 4, but inside it is 5 models because you're also getting a Space Marine Primaris Captain inside the same box. And then lastly, we're looking at the new Sternguard Veteran Squad, which is again not the same. These are not push fit like the Leviathan ones were before, and they have a bunch of various options to choose from for your build. So we will see all of that in this video. I hope you enjoy. This is the Chaplain in Terminator Armour, and I have always liked the skull helm of the Chaplain, so though he's got a rather Bane from Batman kind of vibe with his helmetless head, I without a doubt chose the Chaplain's iconic helm. You could also choose between 2 different Crozius, and I chose the one that looked more like a weapon, really, because that's how my guy rolls. He is also equipped with a Storm Bolter, though you could replace that Storm Bolter with a Relic Shield to give him a wounds characteristic of 6 rather than 5, but I'm happy to keep the extra weapon since I would always use him within a Terminator unit rather than by himself. So besides the chance he's taken out by precision weapons, in which case I don't see one single extra wound making that much difference, I instead want him to have that extra little bit of firepower, which means I have a lovely relic shield if I need it for anyone else who might need one. For example, this Space Marine Captain with Jump Pack. This fellow has many different weapon options to choose from. One hand could either be holding a heavy bolt pistol or a hand flamer or a plasma pistol, and the other could be holding a chainsword or relic weapon or power fist. Lastly, he could be holding a thunder hammer and relic shield, but this kit doesn't have this last duo of war gear options, so you would need to outsource your relic shield, maybe if you had a Terminator Chaplain that didn't need one, and outsource your Thunderhammer, which might be pretty easy with the amount of Stormcast Eternals from Age of Sigmar out there with hammers that have lightning bolts on them. Now, if you are going to magnetize him like I did, you'll need to find alternative shoulder plates for the other arm attachments, which attach at the shoulder. Or you could cut the arms down below the shoulder to switch them out. Though I just tucked on Intercessor shoulder plates to use options for now, once I opened the Sternguard Veteran Squad, I found more than enough extra shoulder plates, so I'll switch those in since they look more like the one that he came with. Another source of shoulder plates are the 5-man unit of Jump Pack Intercessors, as they're called on their box, but their datasheet names them as Assault Intercessors with Jump Packs, which is more accurate since their heavy bolt pistols and Astartes chainswords clearly label them as Assault Intercessors. The Sergeant has the option to switch out his heavy bolt pistol for either a hand flamer or a plasma pistol, and his chainsword with either a power weapon, which is a simple sword, or a power fist. If you wanted to magnetize his arms, it'd be basically the same way as you saw with the Captain. And one other Assault Intercessor within a group of 5 can also have a plasma pistol instead of the heavy bolt pistol, so he gets one as well. Besides that, there are no other weapon options, so your extra bits are helmetless heads, which you have more than enough of, the Sergeant's weapon options, you get an extra heavy bolt pistol, and you get a bunch of little purity seals that can be attached to whichever part of the model needs to feel more blessed. Next to show you is the Company Heroes kit, which do not have any weapon options besides the captain that is hidden within their box. This Ancient is equipped with a bolt pistol, bolt rifle, and close combat weapon, which you can see on his person. Now, he is one, unlike the others, that you have to be particularly careful how you put him together. His cloak is in two obviously separate pieces that you will have to mold together. I used multiple layers of plastic glue to make the two pieces as seamless as possible. But if you didn't mind how the arms are oriented at his shoulders and how the odd pieces of his cloaks are oriented early on, you'll have trouble putting all the future pieces on. Also, as it isn't completely obvious following the guide, to attach his hands holding the standard to the rest of the body, you'll need the orientation I have going on in this video, where the bottom is closer to himself than the top. It's very specific where the arms go and very specific how the hands will attach to those arms. This is the company champion, wielding a bolt pistol and master-crafted power weapon, looking lovely. And though his power weapon and hands are one separate piece that will require the arms being attached in a specific orientation, you can easily attach both arms at the shoulders within seconds of each other, and then dry fit the hands into place to double check the orientation of the arms, before then proceeding to glue the hands and sword piece into place. Much simpler than the Ancient. And by the way, there are helmetless options for every Space Marine if you so wish. But I like the Space Marines in helmets, both because I like Space Marines who understand the benefit of a helmet in a fight. I like how the helmets look more than the faces in most cases. And because the helmets are so much easier to paint than the faces, it's a win-win-win for me. This is one of the two company veterans. This company veteran is wielding a master-crafted heavy bolter plus his bolt pistol and close combat weapon. And though you don't see his bolt pistol or close combat weapon on his person, instead you see a resupply for his heavy bolter if you want to attach it to his waist like I did. But there are several kits out there with extra holstered pistols. I'm sure you could fit on there somewhere if you really wanted to. And I like to think he just clobbers enemies that get close with that heavy bolter of his, because it probably weighs a ton and could definitely be a close combat weapon in the right armor-assisted hands. This last company veteran is wielding a master-crafted bolt rifle along with his bolt pistol and close combat weapon, and I like his casual look. He's so accustomed to battle and pain, if his bionic arm is any indication, that he feels at ease in any situation, even in the middle of combat. Or maybe he's currently insulting the enemy right now to goad them into making a mistake. I think he would make a nice lieutenant model, actually, if you weren't using company heroes in a game and just wanted the lone character, just like you could use the Ancient as a lone character. Or this captain. This captain comes in the box of company heroes, but he's not actually part of the company heroes unit. Instead, he is a separate unit altogether. But since company heroes can't be fielded without a captain leading them, captain or chapter master, Games Workshop chose to put the captain right into the box with them, which would certainly make this kit the cheapest way to get an Ancient, a captain, and if you agree with me on this previous Marine, a lieutenant, all in the one box with two others as gravy. Now, the captain in this kit does not have all of the options available to the captain unit as per his datasheet, since he is missing the master-crafted bolter and the relic shield options, but he can be equipped with either a heavy bolt pistol, plasma pistol, or neovolkite pistol in the one hand, and either a master-crafted power weapon or power fist in the other. I have assembled him with a plasma pistol and power fist, and I'm happy with that, but if you wanted to magnetize his weapon options, since it attaches the top of his hand to the bottom of his hand, you will need very thin magnets to fit within his hand, or a bit of sawing and finding yourself some extra arms and shoulder plates. That's for the pistol side. Should you want to magnetize the other side, you can magnetize the full-length arm of his power weapon and the full-length arm of his power fist, since they use separate arms, just needing an extra shoulder plate to make the job pretty simple. So I love me some termies, and I may see about kit bashing some of these into Death Knights for Dark Angels. We shall see. The kit has all of the various bits that you need to build your Terminators any way that you see fit that is legal. And magnetizing the various weapon options for these is completely viable. I was happy to stick with the chain fists personally on all of my Terminators, but there is space within the gauntlet, which is a bottom half and a top half, that allows you to easily hide magnets and allows a simple switch between power fist and chain fist should you want to do that. The sergeant's power fist can alternatively be replaced with a power weapon, and since both pieces attach at the shoulder, you would just need one extra shoulder plate, which this kit does come with, if you don't mind it not being the specific one designed for the sergeant. I know I wouldn't, for the sake of simple magnetization. The designs of sergeant and non-sergeant on the armor plates are very similar. All of the arms, once you've assembled them, attach at the shoulder, so any arm can be added to any Terminator, and any head can be added to any body at the angle that you like, that there really isn't that much difference in how you can angle their heads. I again chose solely helmeted options, but there are enough helmetless heads that you can make them all helmetless if you so wish. There is only one other Terminator that you would consider magnetizing besides the Sergeant, and I did exactly that. This Terminator can have its Storm Bolter replaced with either an assault cannon or a heavy flamer, or it can keep the Storm Bolter and add on a Cyclone missile launcher. To magnetize the missile launcher, I added the magnet in under the armor behind his head and into the middle piece of the launcher. It was a very straightforward magnetization, though there is an extra shoulder plate for the process of adding the heavy flamer or the assault cannon. You do need 2 extra shoulder plates, which I didn't currently have, so I simply added a small magnet within the shoulder plate piece itself, and either the strength of the other magnets in his shoulder kept this shoulder plate in place if you align all the poles correctly, or you can just add a little magnet to the place that the shoulder plate would attach. And this is the Teleporter Homer. It's just a physical representation of the Terminator Squad's ability Teleport Homer, so that you and your opponent know exactly where it is that your guys will be going. And lastly, we have the new Sternguard Veteran Squad. Recently, they had a Sternguard Veteran Squad arrive with the Leviathan box set, which were push-fit models with very specific ways to build the models. This kit is not like that. There are many different weapon options to choose from, in that you could build all of your Sternguard veterans with combi weapons, or all of them with Sternguard bolt rifles, or in any combination of the above, since you have 6 of each of the weapons, each of the combi weapons and each of the bolt rifles. And since 1 in every 5 models can replace their Sternguard bolt rifle with a Pyre cannon or a Sternguard heavy bolter, you also get 1 of each of those. And those weapon options attach at the wrists of both hands of the Space Marine, as well as at the connection point of the tube, so you're going to need some very tiny magnets. Though, because there's 3 different attachment locations, they should be quite strong enough to be able to hold up the gun. I personally was perfectly content to stick with a heavy bolter and Sternguard bolt rifles for the rest of my squad, but if you wanted to magnetize between the Sternguard bolt rifles and combi weapons, because of all of the extra shoulder plates you would need to do so, you may want to instead saw the arms at the elbows and magnetize them there, or just choose between one or the other option and forget magnetization altogether, because all the arms attach at the shoulders. And like the other Marine kits, you get a lot more heads, both helmets or helmetless, than you need for 5 models, and you get extra little belt packs and purity seals and sigils. Actually, this is a really nice set for Space Marine extra bits. You will be able to make multiples of this squad and keep them all looking unique. Well, as unique enough for Space Marines that no one would stick out like a sore thumb as being the exact duplicate of his battle brother, anyway. And the Sergeant has all of his needed weapon options as well. The datasheet says he can replace his bolt rifle with a Astartes chainsword, or a combi weapon, or a power fist, and the kit has all of these. And they allow him to wield a bolt pistol in one hand and one of the above in the other. While if you decide to keep his bolt rifle, you'll still be able to model him with the bolt rifle on one side and the power weapon or chainsword or power fist on the other. Like I said, you have absolutely every weapon option in the kit in the quantities you would need, in some case more than that, but certainly within the quantities you would need to build any weapon combination from the datasheet that you want. Oh, and there is also a backpack standard for the Sergeant if you wanted to use that instead of his little symbol on the back, but I saw no need to add it since there are no rules for it, so I'm keeping it as a bit for the moment. Well, thanks for watching. Make certain to comment below if you had any questions about any of these sculpts or anything Warhammer related in general, I suppose. Make certain to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, but you enjoy this content, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye! Thank you as always to the patrons and YouTube members that allow this channel to thrive and grow. I really appreciate your support.